So, I'm frozen in my yard, heart slamming against my ribs, watching a medical chopper's blade stare up the evening sky because our HOA tyrant, Diane Kessler, decided her precious clipboard trumped my wife's life. Alena, my pregnant wife, was doubled over with premature contractions, 6 weeks early, while Diane stood at our community gates, stonewalling an ambulance, its sirens howling uselessly against her obsession with rules. Let me tell you, that night in Oak Ridge Meadows turned our baby's arrival into a fight for survival, and I had to break every rule to win. I'm Nathan Brooks, just a regular guy who thought we'd hit the jackpot moving to this Georgia suburb 6 months back, tree-lined streets, kids on bikes, a hospital 12 minutes away, perfect for Elena's high-risk pregnancy after a scary blood pressure spike at 20 weeks. Oak Ridge looked like a postcard, lawns clipped to perfection, mailboxes in approved beige, driveways cleaner than my kitchen floor. We signed the papers, dreaming of our kids' first steps here, clueless about the storm brewing. 3 days in, Diane Kessler, HOA president, showed up, clutching her clipboard like a shield, fake smile sharp as a knife. I'm Diane, she said, like she was royalty, handing us a rulebook thicker than a phone directory. No Christmas lights past January, garbage cans hidden, garden gnomes under 18 inches. Alena, 5 months pregnant and radiant, giggled at the gnome bit. Diane's glare could have cut glass, but she droned on about standards. We figured she was just a control freak until her notices started piling up. Our doormat was an inch too big, Elena's porch herbs unapproved, my car parked too close to the sidewalk. Diane's notes were cold, citing rulebook clauses like she was a judge. Alena, stressed but sweet, tweaked things to avoid trouble, but I saw the tension in her eyes. Neighbors dished their own Diane drummers. Tom across the street got fined for his son's blue truck, ruining the aesthetic. Lisa next door cited for wind chimes too loud after dark. Diane measured fences with a ruler, snapped pics of stray leaves, ruled like she owned us. Still, we focused on our baby, painting the nursery soft green, wrestling with a creep that fought back, counting down to meeting her. At 34 weeks, everything went sideways. It was a crisp October evening. Alena was wiped out, her back aching no stretch could fix. She barely touched her plate, a warning sign for her pregnancy cravings. Around 7 p.m., she gasped, clutching her belly contractions, way too early. They hit every 15 minutes, then 12, then 10, her face pale, sweat dripping. When her water broke, soaking our floor, panic gripped me. 34 weeks meant serious risks. I called her OB, Dia Lopez, who said, "Hospital now, call 911. The dispatcher promised an ambulance in 10 minutes. Elena's contractions roared, 6 minutes apart, her hands crushing mine. Sirens wailed, hope flaring until they stopped at our gates. I helped Alena to the door, her breathing ragged, but the ambulance's lights were stuck at the entrance. 5 minutes dragged, then 10. Nathan, why aren't they here? She whispered, terrified. I called 911 again. The dispatcher was stumped, saying the crew had our address. I drove us to the gates, Alena wincing, and saw Diane, clipboard raised, arguing with 2 paramedics, blocking the way. Vehicles need 48-hour notice, she snapped, quoting Section 12. The lead paramedic, a tired woman, begged, "This is premature labor." Diane didn't flinch. No exception, security rules. I ran up, livid. Diane, my wife's in labor, opened the gates. She smirked. You didn't file an emergency form, Nathan. Not my problem. Alena cried out, another contraction hitting. The paramedics asked to treat her there. Diane refused, muttering reliability. Every second was a knife. Premature birth meant NICU, breathing issues, or worse. Diane's rules were a death trap. Then it hit me, my body mic flew for a private medevac outfit. I called, desperate. Mike, the HOA is blocking the ambulance. Elena's in labor. Can you send a chopper? He was flawed but sharp. 20 minutes, your yard's big enough. Cost. Sky high, but I didn't care. Do it. At the gates, Diane was preaching Form 47B nonsense. I told the paramedics about the chopper, they were stunned. Diane overheard, furious. No aircraft without permits, noise violations. The younger paramedic barked, you don't control airspace. Elena's contractions were 4 minutes apart, her voice weak. Something's wrong. The paramedics checked fetal distress, high risk. Diane tried stopping them, claiming, no medical procedures here. The lead paramedic snapped, back off, or you're arrested for interference. Then, a twist, Tom's wife, Clara, a nurse who'd kept quiet under Diane's reign, ran up, yelling, I've called the sheriff, she can't block medical care. Chopper blades thundered, Mike's crew zeroing in. Neighbors poured out, filming Diane's lunacy. She screamed about cops for illegal aircraft, but the rotor wash swallowed her words. The helicopter landed in our yard, flattening grass. The flight nurse bolted out, radioing, high-risk birth NICU start. Diane stepped in front, arms wide. No unauthorized ops. The nurse shoved past, the paramedic roared, touch her again, you're done. Elena sees preeclampsia. The nurse shouted, magnesium sulfate now. Clara and neighbors formed a barrier, pushing Diane back. Enough. Tom growled. They loaded Elena onto the chopper, I jumped in, holding her hand. 8 minutes to the hospital, monitors beeping, Elena's vitals shaky. Dear. Gomez rushed her for a C-section. At 8:47 p.m., Lily was born 4 pounds, 2 ounces, her cry pure magic. The NICU team took her, tiny but strong, while Elena stabilized. Next morning, Tom called, neighbors ousted Diane in an emergency meeting, cops warned her of felony charges. News blasted, HOA blocks pregnant woman's care. Diane's house went up for sale, she vanished. Lily came home at 6 pounds, breathing easy. We planted a garden where the chopper landed, flowers marking her fight. Oak Ridge transformed Mrs. Young, new HOA president, scrapped gate rules, started a fund for Lily. Neighbors bring meals, kids play free. Was Diane just a power-hungry nutcase, or did her rules mask something darker? Comment your take, faced an HOA monster. I read everyone. Like if justice felt sweet, subscribe for more. Rules versus human lives, where do you stand? Let's hear it. So, I'm frozen in my yard, heart slamming against my ribs, watching a medical chopper's blade stare up the evening sky because our HOA tyrant, Diane Kessler, decided her precious clipboard trumped my wife's life. Elena, my pregnant wife, was doubled over with premature contractions, 6 weeks early, while Diane stood at our community gates, stonewalling an ambulance, its sirens howling uselessly against her obsession with rules. Let me tell you, that night